so we didn't find any mold at the apartment. My only lead is just evaporated, and now we don't have anywhere to go. Yeah, let me show you. Look at this thing. It's like absolutely enormous. This is our living room and the kitchen, and Colin's bedroom's in there, and this is my room in progress, and my bathroom, and my closet. On June 2nd, 2020, I uploaded my final ulcerative colitis video of that year. At the time, I had achieved a level of health that was pretty damn close to what I envisioned true healing was for myself. I was eating a wide variety of healthy, whole foods. I was exercising regularly, I was sleeping really well, but best of all, I was having next to no symptoms at all. And so, considering that I had just come out of what I consider to be the darkest time of my life, I decided to move my life forward and get an apartment. I contacted a buddy of mine and we made it work to where we were going to be moving into a brand new building on the other side of town that had just been finished. I remember the day that we moved in, I truly felt like life was finally looking up for me. I was healthy, I was independent, and I was free. Well, the next day, the blood returned. And since that day, things were never the same. It progressively got worse and worse until eventually I was landed in a full-fledged flare that was the second worst I had ever experienced. There were no answers, no leads, and nothing had changed in my protocol, just the health and life being sucked out of me every single day. Bathroom trips became more and more frequent and went from pretty normal to almost only blood, and I couldn't believe how far I had fallen. I stopped going to the gym, I barely worked, I barely hung out with anybody or contacted anyone outside my immediate circle, and I pretty much just stayed inside. My apartment became somewhat of a prison, and while my roommate had an outside job, was engaged, and otherwise had a life, I became a very resentful recluse that I thought I had otherwise escaped since March. But worst of all, I felt like a fraud. Everything that I had done, all the work that I had put in, all the research I had done, all of the times I had to say no to tasty food, to nights out, to you name it. Everything I had done to treat my body well and to get it healthy felt like it was all for nothing. Like I had done nothing. And on top of that, I had broadcasted what I thought was the answer out onto the internet for thousands of people to see, many of which have contacted me asking how I'm doing, what my status is, what my protocol is like. And to all of those people, I felt like the biggest liar ever. I felt like I could never be trusted. I felt like true healing and what I was attempting to do was bull. And so I needed to get some air. So I started taking trips over to my parents' house. At first just for a couple hours, then for some meals. Then I started spending a couple nights over. And eventually we made the decision that I wasn't going to be able to continue living there by myself once my roommate got married and left. And so we decided to move me back home. I tried to go out on my own, and I got sick, and then I had to leave my apartment, and everyone was going to know that I failed. And the whole time I'm thinking, why? Why is this happening? I changed nothing. My diet is the same, my supplements, my sleep, my stress, my exercise, everything. Why did I go from otherwise healthy to full of disease in 5 months? We had no answers. Until we had a conversation, my parents and I, at our home one night about what could possibly be going on that was causing this severe flare. My mom brought up the idea that somehow I had never thought about before, which was, what if there's something in the apartment that's making you sick? And then I had a flashback to the day after I moved in. Literally the day after, I had been symptom-free for nearly a month and a half. And then the day after I move in, symptoms return. So I started putting 2 and 2 together, and we eventually came up with a pretty solid case that would lend the idea to us that maybe there was something either airborne in the materials, in the walls, whatever, that was causing my illness to return. It was a long shot, but at least we had a lead. Alright, so it is December 1st, 2020, and I'm on my way to Synapse for an impromptu visit. So essentially what's been going on is, ever since I moved into my new apartment on July 1st, I started backsliding. The very next day I started to flare, and it's been progressively getting worse and worse until now I'm essentially back to where I started. And it's just now starting to affect my sleep again. And I've been telling Dr. Troy this, for the past couple of weeks, and he doesn't feel comfortable just letting it go anymore. He wanted to see me immediately, and so that's where I am right now. Right now I'm heading to Whole Foods, and then from there I will be heading to Synapse. It's about 4 hours from there, so there is obviously something that we're missing, and today, hopefully, we're gonna find out what it is. So, essentially what we think is going on, I'm like 95% sure that this is what's going on. That what's going on is there's some kind of environmental toxic exposure going on. The thing is that this flare... So what was it? We didn't know. And we technically still don't. We tested the apartment for both mold and VOC contaminants, and both of them came up clean. But one thing still remained, and that was that I was showing all the classic signs of a severe toxic load on my system. The writing was on the wall, and I'd honestly come to suspect it long before. I had brought it to my doctor that I see here in Madison, basically saying, I think there might be some kind of toxic issue, maybe some kind of chemical issue going on because of my slow progression back towards disease and the seemingly invisible nature of the culprit of my symptoms. And so after I finished the consult with Dr. Troy, I came back with a renewed faith that we were probably going to be discovering something in the apartment very soon that was going to be the beginning of the end for me. But that wasn't quite the case. I had a few more really hard weeks, and they were punctuated by the test results that showed there was no mold or VOC presence in the apartment, which made me pretty upset. But of course, given the fact that I was displaying all of the classic symptoms of a toxic overload, a stressed out liver, kidneys, crazy acne, depression, obvious digestive issues, we decided to go ahead and launch a very hardcore detox protocol anyway, and I was essentially thrust into phase 2. which was multifaceted. First, you need to completely remove yourself from the direct source of the toxins, and then you need to displace, bind, and shuttle all remaining toxins from the body by supporting the natural detox pathways and using various nutraceuticals to help aid in the process. And we went hard. Remove myself from my apartment completely and deep clean everything that comes along with me. Support my liver and my phase 1 and 2 detoxification pathways using saunas and IV therapy. Support the lymphatic system and the movement of inflammation with exercise and lifting. And finally, These honestly are probably one of the best supplements I have ever taken. It's called GI Detox, and what it is essentially a binder which soaks up free radicals and toxins in your GI tract and allows them to safely exit your body without causing damage. Back in December when I was having my severe flare, we decided to start me in on 5 of these a day. And literally within a couple of weeks, I saw tremendous results and a reduction of symptoms by what I would estimate to be about 70%. So what happened? What happened after I started taking 5 of these a day, started doing IV therapy, started working out regularly, started sleeping more regularly, IV glutathione therapy, vitamin D, all that kind of stuff? What happened? Well, I would say that within a span of about 2 weeks, my symptoms reduced from very severe to just above mild. And then about 2 weeks after that, my bleeding stopped completely. I started to gain strength and energy again. Of course, back in the gym, I started gaining weight, and I really felt like my vitality and my overall sense of life was really on the upswing. Now, of course, I have had my dark days, my down days in that period of, light and overall good, where your body is essentially trying to get rid of a ton of stuff that's been compacted over months or even years. And when that happens, it tends to cause inflammation and can cause a little mini flare-up that you may notice from day to day. But if things are on track and you're detoxing properly and not doing things too fast, then you should still make progress. And that's exactly what I've been able to do. I've gone from a severe flare back around Thanksgiving in early December to where now I'm pretty much back where I was in the summer. Just very, very mild symptoms and just trying to navigate the little road bumps that I come across here and there. But the main takeaway from this video is to not lose hope. Back in December when I was crying in that clip over not finding any mold in the apartment, I truly felt like my journey was over. There was some kind of invisible evil force that was dictating that I would be sick forever. I hadn't changed anything in my protocol. My diet was the same, supplements, sleep, stress, exercise, everything was the same. Yet I was flaring, and I didn't know why. And I truly felt like God had turned his back on me. But that wasn't the case. And I remember just laying in my bed one night and just praying to God that if there is light and there is an answer to the other side of this flare that I'm in right now, then I will believe anything is possible. And now, here I am. And I can honestly say 100% that I now believe fully and totally that there is an answer to every problem. It's getting really warm. So I know that this video started off really dark and depressing, but I did that for a reason, and that was because I wanted to portray the exact atmosphere and exact mental state that I was in back in December, because I truly did feel hopeless. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that feel the exact same way. And the whole point of these videos is for me to create a beacon of light so that when someone discovers these a few years down the line that's just starting their journey, then they'll be able to see me go from step to step to step and get better and better and better, and then have a severe setback, but then get better and better and better again and go past where I was before. That'll help them keep going and to pursue ultimate health in their own life as well. So as for me, I am nowhere near done. I still have a ton of work to do, a lot of detoxing to do. We still have to address my microbiome. There's a lot of things I still have to do. I still have acne here and all over the place, which, indicates inflammation and toxicity somewhere in my body. So I'm going to keep going. And I would encourage all of you to do the same. There's a lot of darkness and a lot of pain, a lot of tears, a lot of long nights alone, a lot of loneliness. that's involved with this disease. But building mental toughness is one of the most important things that you can take away from being diagnosed with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. And for me sharing my journey, I really hope that you guys can gain the strength and the hope and the ability to trust the Lord and know that there is an answer to every problem and that you don't have to be sick forever. So yeah, guys, that's it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. You found it helpful and motivating and inspiring. And I hope that you can come back to this whenever you're having a bad day or having a bad flare. And just so you can see that it is possible to escape it and that you don't have to live in that place of darkness forever. So I really appreciate you guys. I love you all. I hope you're doing well. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. I always love hearing from you guys all the time. Also, you can DM me on Instagram if you want to chat. I'm always open there. It's @DrewVans. You can send me a DM if you want. We can chat and just help to take your mind off things because I know it can get tough. So that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.